So the Detroit Pistons get smacked around. They get one hell of a wake up call from, you could call it a big brother team. You know how it goes when young brothers starts feeling themselves and start feeling really excited about getting a win. And then all of a sudden, big brother comes over like, nah, let me show you how this really goes. And that's what happened. The Detroit Pistons get smacked by the Knicks. They get sunned to a bit. And hopefully they learn from it. But I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. You know, there are times in my life that I look back on and wonder why I didn't reach out for help. I recognize how much I normalized struggling alone in silence when I didn't have to. If I was an athlete dealing with an injury, I would have reached out for a trainer or even a doctor. If I was dealing with something on the team, I would have reached out for an assistant coach. Well, Bridges and Stones is a place to find a well-trained, supportive coach for your life. Don't struggle alone. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation and get your life back on track. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. You know, this is my guess, is that the Pistons beat Philly, came back home, and let their foot up off the gas. They probably went out and partied, celebrated a big win. I mean, these are, young brothers in their early 20s with millions of dollars. They gonna enjoy themselves, and they should. I ain't even mad at it. But see, the difference between the youngsters and the veterans, the difference between the Cade Cunninghams and Jaden Iveys and Tobias Harris and Simone Fontecchio, some of these other guys who've been around, is that they understand how to prepare themselves to show up and maximize themselves from game to game to game. Now, I'm not even including Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley because I keep telling y'all these are not starters. Those two guys are not starters. And you see the difference when they're facing a team that's trying to actually contend for a championship, a playoff level team. Let's be clear, the Miami Heat are a play-in team. Philly was without two All-NBA players. That team as currently constructed with who's healthy is a play-in team at best. They weren't exactly going up against juggernaut teams. But it's not to say that their gameplay was not legit. Like I did the video. I'm sold. I think Cade and Ivey are the future of this team. And when Asar gets back, it's going to look 10 times better. But this team was not prepared. And I don't think it was from a Bickerstaff coaching point of view. I think it was from a players kind of focus. Jalen Duren, forgetting that Karl Anthony Towns is a three-point shooter, he's had a extremely hard time covering on the perimeter with centers who can shoot. Remember against the Pacers, right? We were in that game. We were winning. We were leading. We were putting our foot down. And then all of a sudden, Miles Turner gets loose. Who was guarding? Who was his primary defender? Jalen Duren. Kept laying off him. Kept forgetting to close out, to be near him. Getting down beneath the free throw line, and all of a sudden Turner's pulling up, and then he remembers to close out. In fact, you saw at the beginning of the second half, Coach J.B. Bickerstaff saw Jalen Duren immediately forget to be near Karl Anthony Towns, and he immediately yanked him. Karl Anthony Towns hit a big three just right after the Pistons hit a three, trying to gain some momentum to get back into this game, and Jalen Duren forgets to be near Karl Anthony Towns. Look, Jalen Duren is talented. Don't get me wrong. But he has a lot to prove if he's going to prove that he is anything better than, let's say, a more offensive version of Steven Adams. Is he even Jonas Valanciunas? That's kind of what he's showing he is. But at this point where Cade and Ivey are at, these two brothers are looking like they can be fringe all-star players this year. Well, if that's where they're at, and you are obviously nowhere near that right now, what you're doing is you're setting up a dynamic where this team has to think about, are you a part of this future for this team? But I digress. It's not even just about Jalen Duren. It's collectively These young guys were not ready energetically. And not just the young guys. Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr., I've told you guys over and over that these two individuals are not only not starters, but they are not good defenders. They are not known for good defense at all. They're not known for playmaking. They're not known for facilitating. They're not even known for shot creation. A lot of what we have seen from them in this early part of the season, the first 4 games, there's 5 games in, but the last 4 when they've looked a lot better, was somewhat, I don't want to say fool's gold, but it was not sustainable. How those two were playing, hitting all these shots, it's going to come back down to earth. And when that happens, you're going to notice that they're not who you're needing, let alone who you're wanting. Yes, it's good to have shooting around Cade and Ivey. Very important. But that's not who you want. Now, I like Malik Beasley. I don't think he needs to be on the ball as much as he is. And in fact, I've been kind of frustrated about this from the beginning of the season. Why is Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. doing so much shot creation? Look, if you don't have a catch and shoot or straight line drive or out in transition, you need to pass that ball off to Tobias Harris, to Cade Cunningham, to Jaden Ivey. Dump it inside to Jalen Duren. Your game is not shot creator, shot maker. I know that you were working on it. You probably worked on it in the offseason, get into your bag. But when you're on a winning team, you don't do none of that. And when you've tried it, you probably got benched. I mean, we saw Tim Hardaway Jr. get benched. They prefer Jaden Hardy because that's who Jaden Hardy is, a shot creator. It's not who Tim Hardaway Jr. is. They played Josh Green instead because he at least plays defense. Look, let me be clear. I know a lot of y'all, and you really like the Tim Hardaway Jr. signing, but I told y'all from jump, I would have rather kept Quentin Grimes because Quentin Grimes is the dog. And this is one of the major issues that I had in this game, is that the dog didn't come out from this starting lineup. Tobias Harris, yeah, he understands what it is. All right, we getting smacked. I'm getting to the cup. I'm getting in the post. I'm creating opportunities close to the rim, high percentage shots to get us back in the game. Cade is still turning the ball over. But worse, it's not even that I'm upset that he turns the ball over. I hate his body language after he turns the ball over. He didn't sprint down the court to chase after Jalen Brunson, make sure they can't shoot a 3. He jogged behind him. He lazily jogged. 0 effort. Bruh, you turned it over. You turned it over. Why does everybody else need to sprint back but you? Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to point to some things that I did like about this game. Is that we saw who the dogs are on this team. When the going gets tough, who gets going? When the going gets tough, who puts their foot down? Says no more. No. Fight starts. Nope. See, it's one thing to lose a fight. It's another thing to lose a fight and then you just lay over and take it. Cade was just taking it, and that was so damn disappointing. Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. was just taking it. Jalen Duren was just taking it. Jaden Ivey was fighting. He got a little passive, but you could see he has that nature in him. And you've got to cultivate that. If you're going to start saying this is Detroit basketball, can't have nobody out there put out that type of performance. It's not even that you got smacked around and you lost to a contender. It was how you lost. The effort. The physicality. I might even have to do a video soon. Is Cade Cunningham soft? Is he soft? Is he just outright not tough? Like, is he Trae Young? Now, Trae Young has an excuse, right? He's 6'2", $150, right? 160 pounds on a good day, right? He's light. Cade Cunningham, you're 6'6". 210, 215 pounds. You're supposed to be the bully. You were supposed to take Jalen Brunson onto that block. You were supposed to put him in your wheelhouse to get into your bag, to get to the cup at will, and then force the defense to rotate. Now, I know, look, hey, the New York Knicks, one thing that they do have is great perimeter defenders. Outside of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart. Those guys are going to lock down. But what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to actually hunt the mismatch. You're supposed to Have a guard set a screen so you can get Jalen Brunson put on you. This is where you have to start thinking the game. But how they lost was the most frustrating thing. Now, what I did appreciate is Marcus Sasser got some burn. What I did appreciate is seeing Paul Reed get some more burn. I did like that Simone Fontecchio started getting himself going. Ron Holland started getting himself going. Look, this is a team that does have Detroit Piston basketball culture. It just doesn't start at the guy who it's supposed to start, and that's with Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Ivey, he's going to have to be the leader. Whether it's like Westbrook alongside Kevin Durant, he's going to have to be that dude that says, look, I have to set the tone, because it's not Cade. Cade is not a tone setter. He's a very skilled player. He's a very talented player. He's not a tone setter. I don't even know if he's a leader, because that type of body language, who are you leading? You definitely don't want a team following that body language. Now, hopefully going forward, you get more Marcus Sasser, because I want him doing the playmaking. I want him doing not Malik Beasley, who's just going to chuck it up. Look, when he's hitting, it's great. When Tim Hardaway Jr. is hitting his shots, it's great. When they are not, they are complete liabilities. They can't create their own shot. They can't defend a dime. They are a liability. I want to see more Ron Holland, because he is getting better and better every single game. His defense, his rebounding, ability to get out in transition, ability to get to the cup and attack the rim. He has a great first step. And if he even remotely starts knocking down threes, even let's say 20-something%, he immediately is a better option than Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, if you saw my other videos, I've been saying he needs to be in the starting lineup, especially with the Asar Thompson out. But I think it should be coming sooner than later, because Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr., that's not the type of players you want around a Cade Cunningham, who's very neutral, right? He can dig in and be tough and be physical and go hard when that's what everyone else around him is doing. But when everyone else around him is not, he can go that direction too. And I'd rather have guys like Ron Holland around him. I'd rather have guys like Tobias Harris. I'd rather have guys like Marcus Sasser. I'd rather have guys like Paul Reed, who are going to go hard and maintain that mindset from Cade Cunningham. But as always, I want to know what you all think about this game. They get smacked by the Knicks big time. What did you think of the game? What are some takeaways? If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Oh, don't forget to share the video in your group chats and get back at me in the comment section. And I'm going to get at y'all there. Peace.